Last year, I made some changes that really helped me to feel more successful in both my business and in my personal life. And these changes have nothing to do with marketing or selling or making more money, although they do help, but they're changes that I had to make in my personal life in order to move forward. And I'm going to share with you actually 5 changes I made that might help you also to move forward as well, because I want the feeling that I have, this peace, abundance, stress-free sort of feeling, to be present in everybody watching. So those of you who you might feel like you're struggling or you're not quite there yet, keep watching, okay? So I've got these 5 tips or 5 changes that I did that might help you out. First of all, my name's Ashley. Welcome. If we haven't met before, you haven't seen a video, I help primarily yoga teachers and wellness entrepreneurs with strategies, systems, technology, and all sorts of tips and advice for growing a business, primarily online as a solo entrepreneur. So if that's you, again, keep watching. I've also got a bunch of other videos that can help you out as well. Make sure you like this video, hit the subscribe button, and leave a comment if you feel called to do so. And let's get started with those 5 tips, shall we? Or 5 changes I made. The first one, you might roll your eyes, you might think, I don't want to do that. I know a lot of you won't do this right away, but it's something that I feel is so important. So the first change that I made last year, just over a year ago, was I started going to therapy. Therapy, I know. Not in-depth therapy to heal childhood traumas, but therapy that was just like check-ins. I actually went to an app on my phone. I use an app, and I was matched with a therapist. There's a few apps that you can do that have that option. So I used an app on my phone. I was matched with a therapist, and we've been chatting weekly for over a year. And I can't tell you how much benefit it has been for me in my personal life, but also business, because I had all of these issues just in my brain, taking up space, things I don't air out online at all, but relationship issues, family drama, all this stuff in my head that I had no one to talk to about, and they just sat there, and it took up my space, my creative energy, so I couldn't be as productive. With a therapist, I'm able to talk through some of that, to get it off my chest, to write it down, to speak it out loud, and also have someone who acts as sort of that unbiased third party that can help me through this stuff. And so that's what she has done, and it's been amazing. I'm going to continue with it. I'd recommend that for anybody, especially if you're going through imposter syndrome or any kind of mental stuff, right? A therapist is going to be really helpful. The second thing I did is I hired help. I hired help in the way for me that was daycare. So I have a 3-year-old, and last year he was 2, and he was at the age where he needed more. He needed more activity, more engagement, and I just couldn't give it to him on my own. It was really tough. So I reached out to a local daycare, basically begging him to get in, but they did let him in, and I invested in daycare 4 days a week, which was so helpful. Now, daycare's not cheap, I know. But I knew in my mind, in my heart of hearts, that the hours that I would have to work, and if I used them appropriately, would be more than enough to pay for daycare. And it is, and that's what happened. So I'm able to have these focused hours that aren't just, in the tiny cracks of the day. I don't have to work from 9 p.m. to midnight anymore, which was also really hard on me. I did it. I didn't like it, but I did it because it was something I felt I had to do. But now I have daytime hours. Right now, it's almost noon. I could have never done this if I've got, little ones running around. So I hired daycare. And for you, hiring help might come in the form of hiring a graphic designer or a cleaning person or someone to wash your car or something else in some kind of way. I'm hiring help to do the things that are really stressing you out, that that paying someone for would just alleviate so much stress and pressure. And these first 2 do cost money, of course, yes, but you are going to see a return on that with the time that you get back, with the mental space you get back when you're able to talk to a therapist, the time you get back with daycare or hiring help, hiring whatever kind of help that is. And the third thing that I did was I let go of the things that weren't working. to make space for the things that were. So I had to think to myself, what's not working here? What isn't working for me was my yoga studio. Sad to say, closing it was not sad for me because I knew going into it, the closing of the studio, that it was something I was letting go of to make space for something that was even greater. New doors would open, and they did. So I made that decision to close my studio because it wasn't working at the time for me in that time. And 10 years from now, I might own a studio again. It would be great if I did, but in the season of life that I'm in right now, it wasn't the time for me to be owning and managing and running a yoga studio when I've got a son that I want to spend more time with. I want weekends off. I couldn't have that if I continued to try to make this work. And so I let it go to make space for what I could do. And for you, letting things go might look different. It might be letting go of negative self-talk. It might be letting go of complaining, gossiping, or letting go of the need to feel a certain way or look a certain way, and really asking yourself personally, what is it that I need? Turn inward. Ask yourself, what do I need? Where do I need to go? So let go of the things that are not working so you can have more energy and space for the things that are, and you can double down a little bit more on them with more focus and more diligence and have them work, which is what I did. I turned more so to online courses, which brings me to number 4 is to invest in experts. Invest in experts. And that doesn't mean money. You don't have to always pay money. And it could mean money, but in time and energy. There are experts all over the place. If there's something you want to learn, you can bet there's probably a podcast about it. Podcast, just pop in some earbuds and start listening. In fact, I was listening to a business life podcast on my way home from dropping off my son at daycare. So instead of listening to music or crime podcasts or something that's just sort of fun and light, which is great occasionally, I oftentimes will turn to business and marketing podcasts or anything that helps me find success in the things that I want to be working on. If you're an aspiring yoga teacher, you might be listening to more of the yoga podcasts. There are some great ones out there, by the way. There's yoga marketing podcasts, yoga teaching podcasts, and things that can help you be a better teacher and be the person that you want to become. So investing in experts by means of free resources like podcasts, YouTube videos like this, following inspirational or motivational or helpful people on Instagram, wherever it is that you show up. Now, if you feel called to do so, investing money into a program that they create could also be beneficial. In fact, it's said that for every $1 you spend on professional development, you'll get at least $7 in return. $7. And that's not immediate. It's not like you buy the program and then all of a sudden you make 7 times that amount. But in time, it translates to much more because it's skills that you're learning that cannot be taken away. The skills you learn from courses and education might give you certification, it might not, but it's more about the skills that you're learning. You can have everything in your life taken away, but you still have your skills to be successful. So find people that can help you to be successful in the areas of life that you're seeking and dive into them. Time, energy, money, if that's where you're at. Last year, I spent $2,000 on a course. I made my money back from that one a month later. I also spent $5,000 on a course, which it was all right. It was good. It wasn't my favorite, but it also gave me a lot of confidence with the work that I did do with it. And then since then, even more than that. But it didn't start with thousands of dollars I'm investing in coaches and courses. It started with a couple hundred. Or maybe it was a membership for $25. And even that was a big deal for me. But I started doing that more last year specifically because I wanted to grow bigger. I knew I had to invest bigger if I wanted to do bigger things. So I continued to invest in programs, courses, coaches, and mentors, and actually take their advice. So for many of you, you may or may not have this. Do you have a backup plan? If you do, sometimes it's going to be harder to find the success that you're looking for. I didn't have a backup plan. When you don't have any other option, it makes it so that you have to follow directions, you have to follow through, and you have to listen to the people who have gone before you, who have the step-by-step process, do the work that they provide. And if they've done it, if others have done it, why not you? So I asked myself that, why not me? Others have done it, why not me? I don't have any other option. Or I told myself I didn't. I'm going to do this. Let's do it. So that was a big mindset shift and change that I made. Is I invested in mentors and coaches, and I actually did the work as prescribed. And what do you know? It actually worked. And the last thing that I did that I think anybody can do for any reason whatsoever, and I think everybody needs to do this anyway, is I prioritized self-care. And self-care might come in the form of going for more walks. It might be, going rollerblading like I like to do. Or for me, I'm following a few more people on Instagram that talk about skincare or health or healthy habits. I made sure to do my workouts each day or most days, and just make sure that some of those routines are in place. So eating healthy, taking rest when I need to, getting more sleep, learning about different skincare techniques, which is just fun and kind of a hobby of mine nowadays. And maybe, for you, it might be listening to your favorite music, taking some breaks during your day. There's so many ways that you can choose to do self-care, and a lot of different ways that it shows up for different people. So prioritizing it, though, actually making it something that is in your calendar, in your schedule. If you have to schedule it, that's fine too. That actually is a great recommendation, is take a nap in your schedule, or go rollerblading, or go for a walk at the beach, or something that can just give you a little bit of free space, just to feel like there's no obligation. It's something you personally enjoy. So I started doing that a little bit more, which was very helpful. And again, now that I hired help with daycare, I have a little bit more time and space for that. So I'm not using the full daycare hours for work constantly. I'm actually only working maybe 4 to 6 hours a day. And then I have a couple hours of sort of free space in there that I'm able to be creative or just rest or whatever it is I need to do. So those are the 5 things that I changed or started doing differently to feel a little bit more successful, a little bit more abundant, I guess, financially in my life, and also just simply feeling better. I don't know if that resonates with you, but let's do a little quick recap, okay? Starting to go to therapy, hiring help. For me, it was daycare, investing in experts, time, money, energy, following the step-by-step, not really having a backup plan, letting go of what wasn't working to make more space for what does work, and prioritizing self-care. So those are the 5 changes I made. If this resonated with you, make sure you like this video. Leave a comment. What changes are you making or planning to make to help you in your future with business or life? So put it down below if it's one of these 5. Maybe it's something else. Maybe it's something I didn't mention. So leave a comment below with the changes that you're making in your life to help you feel more successful. And I'll see you again in another video very soon.